Hello everybody and welcome. Just gotta take a sip before I start. I hope everybody's having a good start to their day. It is Monday, so I hope everybody is having a great Monday. If this is your first time joining me, my name is Evelyn Knight. I am the host of the Childcare Business Coach podcast, and I'm the owner of Zooing Around Preschool and Childcare Business Professionals, where we help childcare business owners find success. So thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know as you come in that you're here. Just say hi in the comments. It does get kind of lonely on this side of the phone. I guess I'm on a phone, so it's not quite a camera. So I just want to address a couple things really quick before I get started. I know there have been a lot of questions about the CARE Act. So I am trying to get I'm trying to get an expert on my podcast. It's easier, the podcast, than it is on these lives. So I'm going to try to get an expert on to clarify some stuff. I know there's a lot of rumors out there right now, so I really don't want to speculate until I talk to an expert on it. So I have reached out to a couple people that I'm trying to get in connection with, and just maybe some referrals so we can get some different, a perspective from an expert on the CARE Act. So that is coming as soon as we can. I will get that information to you guys, and hopefully we can get someone on who can let us know the accurate information so we're not relying on rumors. I did share an article yesterday from NAEYC, because NAEYC is reliable. That is an organization we can absolutely trust. So I'm just trying to make sure that I'm just sharing with you guys accurate information that we can trust. So I am trying to get somebody on the podcast though. So hi Shelly, I see you on there. If you know somebody who can come on the podcast and give us accurate information about the CARE Act, that would be fantastic. I just want to make sure before I share anything or put any information out there, it's 100% credible. There's a lot of misinformation I'm seeing going around right now. So again, feel free to comment. My phone doesn't always keep up like it should, but I will try to address your comments as they come in. Hi, Zach. Thank you for joining. And so today we are going to just dive in. I know you guys came here to get information on how to recession-proof your center. And does the sound come through okay, you guys? I'm trying to make sure that the sound is okay on there, but unless you guys say it's not, I'm going to assume that sound is good. So recession-proofing your childcare center. And really what I really been thinking about, I see so many people out there right now who are really scared, and I'm seeing a lot of fear and hopelessness. And so if I can just bring you information to help ease that fear, help ease that hopelessness, so that you guys can see that there is hope. We don't have to worry that we're going to lose our centers. Are we going to have a lot of hard work to do? Yes, we are. But we can do this. We can do it. You've got to know what is important to you and that it's worth fighting for right now. We do have a lot of work ahead of us, but we don't want to be a statistic. And those of you who have chosen to join, who are joining this workshop, who might be replaying later, you don't want to lose what you've built. You don't want to lose your jobs. So you guys are here so that you can make sure that you do survive, right? Hi, Maria. Thank you for joining. So that's where I was just really thinking all week last week, what can I bring to you guys? What can I do for you to show you that it doesn't have to be that way? And I'm going to go back again. If you've watched my other videos, I've told the story, but it's just important for you to understand. I have almost faced bankruptcy in my centers twice. Okay, I have owned 3 centers over my career, and 2 different times I've almost lost everything due to bankruptcy. And it was disasters that hit my life, similar to what we're going through now. Like I said last week, the only difference between this disaster is that we're all going through it at the same time, right? But if you look, there's been disaster, there always are. So when I first went into business, a flood hit my town. and it took out 50% of my customer base overnight. And I was a brand new business, you guys. This was literally a month before I was set to open. So I thought I was opening a business that was going to be full and it was going to go great. And next thing I knew, I was facing opening a brand new business when a flood wiped out my customer base. So now I had to figure out, what am I going to do, right? It was very stressful. So I ended up really just fighting back. Hi, Christina. Thank you for joining us. And I really just had to fight that. And I was a brand new business. I was a young business owner. I didn't know a whole lot of what I was doing, but I was able to survive that, right? And I can tell you the reason I survived it is because I didn't quit and I didn't give up. That was it. Then I got sick. I was diagnosed with a neurological disease, and at the time, when in between trying to get stabilized before the doctors really knew what was going on with me, my business just started to fall apart. I really checked out, and this is really my motivation for coming to you guys every day. Back then, I was the owner who checked out. I was the owner who didn't really dedicate myself. Hi, Betsy. I was the one who I just froze. I didn't take action. And that is what caused me to almost go bankrupt. I cannot stress that to you guys enough. It wasn't really the disaster that was going on around me. It was my lack of action. My inability to really move forward is what crippled my business. So now that is really what I'm trying to bring to you guys, is it doesn't have to, your businesses don't have to, it's going to be hard. I'm not going to try and sell you guys a false hope or just a bunch of, a false story, but it doesn't have to cripple you. You don't have to face bankruptcy. We can make it through this, but the worst thing you can do is freeze. That is the worst thing you can do. I've been there. And I can tell you guys that what really hurt my business was the fact that I froze, was the fact that I withdrew and I took no action at all. I was being reactive instead of proactive, and I will never do that to myself or my staff again. I will never have that lack of leadership again, because at the time I let a lot of people down. And that is really what's motivating me to come to you guys every day, Monday through Friday lately, is that I don't want to do that again to my staff. And if I can save one of you, just one of you, from going through what I've gone through, it'll all be worth it, right? All this time I've put into these Facebook Lives, the workshops I'm putting together, it'll be worth it. So if I can save, you guys, your centers, because I've gone through it and it's not fun. So as you know, I've told you guys, if this is your first time watching, you don't know my story, but at that time, one day I literally woke up, and you guys, I am a God girl, so I owned 2 centers at the time, and I was about done. And I came back from one of my centers that was about an hour away, drove to my main center, and both centers were not doing well. And I literally just sat in my car and started to cry. And I literally just prayed, and I just said, God, you got to do, I don't know, you've got to show me, because I don't want to do this anymore. This is what you've called me to do, but I'm just don't want to do it anymore. So you have to show me if I still belong here. And I literally walked into my center, and I kid you not even a minute later, one of my teachers brought me an infant and actually told me, just in case you forgot why you're doing this and why we're here, this baby was left in, she was born in Las Vegas, and nobody would take her in as a foster. Her mom left her there because she was a crack baby. And the foster family that took her here, which we are about 10 hours away from Vegas, you guys, we're in northern Nevada, so we're about 10 hours away, had the only reason they were able to take this baby was because we don't charge our families copays that are foster parents. So this family would not have been able to afford it. So she literally, after my tantrum in my car, praying to God, asking him why he's making me do this, I literally walk into my office and she hands me this baby. I'm like, this baby would not have a home without you. without what you're doing and without what Zuin's vision and mission is, right? And I see Kristen's on here. She was with me through that time. She worked for me at the time, so she knows exactly who I'm talking about, the situation. And ironically, this has been really hard, right? Well, this morning, my director, who knows the whole situation, she brought me a baby this morning and actually said to me, you know, God sent you another one because here you go again. Here's another infant that needs us. That was also born, this one was born addicted to meth. He's only 6 weeks old and he's with us now. So, you know, I just constantly get those reminders of why God has me where I am. So if I can help you guys, that is really my motivation, is to let you know we all are here for a reason, right? Every single one of us is here because we were called to this field. And the only reason you're going to lose your center is if you give up, okay? I cannot stress that to you guys enough. Last week I had my financial advisor, Christine, and Christina. Both of them were on. They were part of my team. They offer 2-hour deep dives into your finances if you need them. They are here to help. They are as motivated as me to help you guys, right? We want to see businesses stay in business. That is our biggest motivation. And going back to my story, that's when I hired my coach. That's when I hired Christine. I was actually already working with Christina, who you guys saw last week, but her and the person she was working for at the time were telling me I need to hire her. She could help me get through this time. She really, so I was at the end of my rope. I was done. There was no way I could make it. And she was my last, I just thought, okay, either I'm going to make it or I'm not. And you guys, I cannot stress to you, I came so close to losing my center at one point that I had an eviction notice. I had a 3-day, a 72-hour eviction notice. That is how close I came to losing my center at one point. But I fought my way through it. So that's what I want you guys to understand is hope is only lost when you give up, okay? I did not let a 3-day eviction notice stop me. I found a way. I found a way to make up those payments. I fought my way through it. I just really started thinking outside the box, and I pulled my head out, to be honest with you guys. I was really just so consumed with self-pity and everything that was happening to me that I didn't realize it was just happening around me, and I was letting it consume me. And once I really just got over myself, to be honest with you, and I decided that no, I'm going to fight. This is important to me, and I took action. I was able to fix the situation. So that's where I'm coming to you guys. What I'm bringing to you this week is what are the things that I put into place in my business that took me from an owner who was failing, who's gotten an eviction notice, to an owner who is now thriving, and an owner that isn't afraid of what is coming. I'm not afraid of this economy, you guys. I have set up such a solid business with the help of my team and the business courses I've taken and the things I've learned that I'm not afraid of this. And a lot of what I've done and what I've been doing is between my business coach, what she's taught me, the classes I've taken a lot of leadership classes in the last few years. I basically have taken all that information and created it into something that is childcare specific. There is a lot of business stuff out there, right? There's tons of coaches, tons of different things, but it's not always childcare specific. So the information I've taken, I've transformed it and for our industry to pertain to what we do. And you guys, when I'm working with other owners out there, one of the biggest things that I see is that we don't know how to be business owners. We are teachers, directors, parents. You know, a lot of times we're just moms, right, who wanted to be close to our children, so we ended up owning a childcare center. I was a director, I was a mom, that's what I did. But we have no clue. We don't know the first thing about being in business. So what we need is to learn how to be business people. You guys, it is foundational, absolutely a must. If you're going to succeed, You've got to learn how to be a business person. And that is pretty much, I'm going to give you guys this week those foundation pieces that can take you to the next level. So if you guys have your workbooks, I know they got out a little late. I was swamped I decided to take Saturday off, which I've promised my family I take 1 day a week off, but that really puts me behind. So I did take Saturday off so I could spend time with my family and just take care of myself too. And so I'm sorry the books got out to you a little bit late. Thank goodness I had a team of people who, by the way, my team of people are volunteers. They actually volunteered to help me through this. They are really dedicated to help you guys too. So this isn't a team that's like actually employees. These are just people who have volunteered to help. So they will be, they're the ones messaging you guys the books and different things like that. They've just been awesome, amazing, wonderful help to me. So I do thank you guys for that. And so we're going to start with the 5 pillars to ensure your success. And what I did, I went on a couple different groups that I belong to that are business related that you actually have to pay for. I fully believe, you guys, investing in coaching. I actually pay for a couple different programs that keep me motivated, also keep me in a positive space. A lot of the Facebook groups out there are filled with so much negativity. That's why, you guys, if you've ever had me, sometimes I do delete some of the posts on my page if they're not positive. If they're not helpful to you guys, I delete them because I don't want my page to become a place where people rant or are negative. I want it to be a place where you guys can grow and gain something. That is really my motivation. So I want it to be like, if you guys are just bogged down with what's happening, you can jump on there and find something positive. That is really what I'm trying to do. So I went on to a page with a group that I belong to. They're business entrepreneurs. And I asked them, I just actually asked them what, I told them, these are my pillars to success. This is what I attribute to my business success at this point. And they absolutely agreed. They gave me some commentary, but this is what I've got. The number 1 pillar to success is the foundation piece. So important, you guys. You have to have vision and clarity. You have to have a vision, and that vision needs to be very, very clear. Your vision is like your roadmap. If you're planning a trip, right? Anytime you plan a trip, you have a destination in mind, right? None of us plan a trip and just get in our car and drive. Well, it sounds fun actually, but some of us might. We normally don't just jump in our car and drive aimlessly. We plan, we book hotel rooms, we do whatever. Your vision is your destination, okay? It is, and then everything you do around that is going to get you to that vision. So that is your foundation, pillar number 1. If it is not in place, I can guarantee you are having problems. You probably have staffing issues, retention, different things like that. I cannot even explain to you how many problems just having a clear, concise vision will fix. Number 2 is intentionally creating your childcare center's culture. Culture in your center is very, very important. And I can guarantee every single one of you has a culture within your center. If you're not intentional, that culture may not be great, okay? So that's something I really want to caution you on. If you're not intentional about your center, you may have things like gossip issues. Do you guys have out of control gossip at your centers? Something I hear all the time. Do you have poor staff retention, right? Do you have just a lot of bickering amongst your staff? Are you having problems with call-ins? That is culture. And if you don't really work to establish that culture, it will establish on its own, and it'll establish in a way that can be a little out of control and hard to deal with. So you want to be intentional on establishing your culture. It is another foundational piece that will help you ensure that you are high quality. And bottom line, you guys, is all of this, when these pieces are in place, the parents stay. That is, they don't want to leave your center. They will fight to get in. So the third one is leading and managing your dream team. Okay, so I knew on number 3, your team. Team is absolutely, they are just foundational, right? So your team is definitely the number 3. As I was stating that, I know what a lot of you guys are going to say. Well, I don't have a dream team right now. Well, I don't, my team isn't a dream team. I can just see it. But I can tell you, any team can be a dream team. It's how you lead them, right? That is what's so important, is how you lead the team. You need to really take a mental shift and go from manager to leader, okay? So you as a leader can create your dream team with the people you have now. It is possible. I didn't think it was once upon a time either until I shifted from the role of being a manager to a leader. So that is just something, and you guys, you're only one person. You can't do everything at your center. Your team is key. They have to live, breathe, and put out your vision all the time in order for your center to be successful. It is an absolute important piece of the puzzle. The next one is your structure, your business's structure. And in our industry, a lot of centers don't even have structure. Your structure is going to be entwined in your policies and procedures, and it's going to keep consistency, right? So it's really important because it kind of goes back to that culture piece. If you don't have a business structure, then your culture of your business is just kind of running wild. There is no consistency, which is where you're going to have a lot of parent turnover. That's where your families are going to be leaving with you a lot, because there's just that lack of consistency, which is going to lead to lower quality. So just keep that in mind. And then the 5th pillar is your high quality standards, right? Having a quality program that parents want their children in. And I know this, I've taught my staff, they're not allowed to call my center a daycare. We are not a daycare. We are a preschool. I've worked really, really hard to make sure that we're not a daycare. If you are a daycare, that's okay. But you can still figure out a way to make that a high quality daycare, right? It's just that pride. It's that product that people are going to fight. If you want parents fighting for your program, no matter how saturated your area is, right? I have a 200 child wait list, you guys. During this time, you bet I'm going to lean into that wait list, because even though I'm saving spots for all my parents who are out right now, I'm still down 60 children a day. So being down all those children, I know I have that 200, and will a lot of those parents maybe not have a job? Yeah. But out of the 200, I'll be able to fill those spots. I'm not very worried about it. And I can tell you, it's not, when I call people on my wait list, they leave the other centers that they're enrolled in to get to mine. Okay, it never fails. Once they hear I have an opening, they come. It wasn't always that way for me. 3 years ago, it wasn't that way for me. 3 years, I didn't have that kind of motivation for people to fight their way to my center. It's really that quality. And the quality really goes into your structure and procedures. You cannot have the quality without the structure. You've got to put those rules in place. You have to have clear, concise policies and procedures in order to maintain high quality standards. But that really is what turned the corner for me. Last week I told you guys I had a parent bribe me a couple of weeks ago with $500 cash to push their child to the top of my wait list. Okay, they literally tried to give me $500 to push their child to the top of my wait list. That is how much parents are trying to get in. A funny story, my director, there was a restaurant owner in town that offered her free lunch once a week if she would push. She actually offered my entire staff free lunch once a week if we could get her to the top of our wait list. So my director actually called. She's like, "Come on, please, can I push her to the top? It's free lunch." So, and if you guys know Brandy, that's Brandy, Food Talks. Cash, she would not have taken the $500 cash, but food, that's a totally different story. So it's just, if that's what you guys want, those are the pillars you have to have in place. You have to have the vision and clarity. You have to have that intentional culture in your center. You have to have your dream team, which you can develop your dream team, and you have to have high quality standards. So today I am going to talk to you guys a little bit about vision, and we're just going to jump right in. There's a quote that I heard by Helen Keller that I wanted to bring to you guys because it really goes in, and I'll tie it into how it goes into vision, because every single one of these pillars, your team is essential. There is not one piece that your team does not fit into. But it goes, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. So that is really something that goes to my vision, right? And clarity in your vision is just vital to having a successful vision. I do have a podcast episode about vision, which I am trying to make sure I don't overlap so you guys can get more information. I did link that in your guys' workbook at the bottom of page 2. There is a link to where you can find that. So I'm going to just go over some of the things, and then in your workbook, I did actually put some questions to help you guys come up with your vision. So that it's just a guide. Your vision can be somewhat difficult to create, right? And so it was really hard for me when I created my vision. It's kind of funny because it was always there, but pulling it out of yourself can be really, really hard. So there's some questions here that will help you to guide you through coming up with your own vision in your guys' workbook. So the first thing is I really want to clarify for you guys the difference between your vision and goals, okay? And the reason it is really, really important for you to understand the difference between vision and goals is your goals can be those tactical, everyday things that can really bog you down, right? But your vision is that motivation factor. My vision is the reason that I am not allowing this COVID-19 virus to overwhelm me. That is why I will go and I will fight for my center, okay? Is because I have a really strong vision. And right now, I have to remind myself of my vision every single day. That is why my director today, Brandy, went and grabbed that baby for me today. That is why she brought that baby for me, because she even knows that vision is so important, that to keep me focused where I need to be, she's reminding me of my vision, right? So, and she knows, and she's bought into my vision so strongly that she knew when we've got that baby that came in, our 6-week-old baby addicted to meth, that baby just encapsulates our vision. Right? That is why we're here. That's why we do what we do. And so that's why, even though it's hard, and today I can tell you guys my first 5 phone calls I took were parents who lost their job, who are scared. And so that's what keeps us going, right? When it feels so heavy and stressful. So your goals are like your everyday things. Like I have a goal to own 5 more centers in 10 years. Okay. That is my goal. But my vision is bigger than that. Why do I want to own 5 more centers? Because if I just focus on owning 5 more centers, what is that? That's just work, right? It sounds fun. I mean, for me, it sounds fun. I'm just kind of, I don't know. I'm addicted to just pushing myself. So, but it's just work, right? But it's my overall vision that pushes me. And my vision is to help make sure that all children eventually have a place where they can go for high quality childcare regardless of their socioeconomic or racial background. I believe that all children should have the opportunity to high quality care, not just children, in certain neighborhoods, all children, regardless of their socioeconomic background. That is my vision, is the more places I can bring high quality care to children who normally it would not be available to, that's what motivates me every day. And that's a pretty ambitious goal, right? So, but that's what your vision should be. It should be really ambitious. It should be a dream, okay? So just remember, your goals are kind of tactical. Your goal might be something, for example, to profit your first $100,000. That is a goal. It's not your vision, okay? So make sure that you're pretty clear on that, first of all. So otherwise, if you just focus on goals and not vision, you can be exhausted. So the next one is I want you guys to think of the big picture, right? Your vision is going to encompass your big picture. So kind of go back to when you started an ECE. Why did you become a director? Why did you become an owner? Okay, that is where you're going to find your vision. What motivated you? Do you want to show all the children love and just that nurturing love? Those are the kind of things that you want to really focus on. And just like stay away from like the money type of stuff. That really isn't what motivates people. It's the bigger picture. What do you want to bring to your children and your staff and your own personal family, right? What are you trying to bring to the world? Your vision can become a movement, okay? My vision has become such a big movement that I'm talking to you guys right now, right? My podcast has a couple thousand subscribers at this point. I've got a few of you guys. I mean, by the time some of my videos are being watched 1,000 times at this point, that is the power of my vision. Okay, I am bringing you guys because now I'm talking to you guys about establishing quality care all over the United States, right? So my vision is what's even motivating me to do this. So think of that big overall, grand vision that you have for the world. And that is what you want to focus on. It is a movement. I'm trying to make my vision a movement, okay? It is going to be my legacy. Your vision can be your movement and your legacy too. One child, one staff member at a time, okay? So think of it like that. Think of what kind of impact do you want to make on the world? One of the exercises I like to do for myself when I'm trying to really get clarity is I like to ask myself, when I am 85 years old and I'm sitting on my porch in my rocking chair, I want to look back on my life and know where I made a difference. So I want you to picture yourself when you are 85 years old sitting on your porch. What do you want to look back on your life and be thankful that you did? What do you want to be proud of, right? That's your vision. What do you want to do for the children at your childcare center? That is what's going to become your vision. If I can go back and say, I influenced enough people so that a few 100,000 children got the opportunity to have quality care, regardless of their socioeconomic background, regardless of their background, period, that'll just be so amazing and so fulfilling, right? That's how I look at my vision. Okay, that's why I wake up every day and I do what I do. That's why I can do it and smile. That's why I'm not allowing all this to get to me, because I know I have a bigger goal to fight for. So think about that. I want your visions to be bold. I want them to be fearless. And I want them to be just something that you can really be motivated. You guys, I'm a small town girl in northern Nevada. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Okay, and I'm talking to almost a few thousand of you guys a week. And let me tell you, back in a year ago, nobody knew anything about who I am. So if I could do this within a couple months, you can make a huge impact too. So just know that your vision needs to have a big impact. It's not going to be your goal. It's not that tactical. It can become a movement, and it's going to be your legacy. Okay. So the next thing is, once you get your vision, you really need to communicate it with your team. That is the next one. Your team is really going to be key for you to create a strong vision. They've got to buy into it. And I can tell you, when you're really clear on your vision, when you know exactly where you want to go and what you're doing and what your motivation is, it is not hard, you guys, to get them motivated. I do a staff meeting every single January that really, really focuses on my vision. Every January, I get my staff together and I really just go over my vision. I try to find a real life example, right, within our center of a child that exemplifies our vision. And I talk to the parents if I need to. I bring them in and I have the parents tell my staff, if it's foster parents, whatever, you guys made an impact. You guys, I can tell you, so many people are afraid all the time of, well, I can't afford to pay all the statistics show how much you pay your staff. Wages are not the number one. It's not even the top 3 motivating factors for why a person takes a job. The number one motivating factor for a person is they want to know they're making a difference. So if you have a really strong vision and your staff gets it, they know it, and they buy into it, they're going to stick with you guys. That's why my staff retention is so good. That's why I have 5-year average staff retention, which you guys know in this field is unheard of. I was blown away when I found out that the average staff stays with the company for 6 months. With an early childhood company is only 6 months. But my staff really understands this vision I have, and they buy into it. And that's why they stick with me. That's why they know also when I had a staff meeting last week, and I asked them, because I'm really not getting pushback from my staff right now being open. And that was really the motivating factor. They have such a strong buy-in to my vision, and they understand it so clearly that they're motivated too to fight through this. They're motivated to work through this. So it is so key to your team, if you want that dream team, to know your vision, know it so clearly that you can make it become alive, and then to sell it to your staff. That is just very, very key. And again, you guys, there's a lot more on creating your vision in that podcast episode. I also do have a blog post on my website that you can read that'll help you walk through creating vision. Because it is, I know talking to you guys, I can make it sound easy, but it's not that easy. So just focus on, though, what do you really want to accomplish? And then what I do is I have that big picture, right? I have this big, bold, audacious goal. That is my vision, right? I know clearly what I want. I can see it, feel it. Then I take it and I break it down into smaller steps. I make my 10-year plan, right? Which is why I want to add another 5 centers in 10 years. And then I break it down to, okay, so now every 2 years, how am I going to achieve that goal? And then I break it down to, okay, by the end of this year, what am I going to do to achieve that vision? And then I break it down to, okay, by the end of this first 6 months, then by the end of the quarter, by the end of the month. So I take that big audacious vision and I literally take this big and I create my roadmap all the way to that destination. So the vision is my destination, and I can, because I'm so clear on it, I can create a roadmap. And one thing I want to tell you guys about having an audacious vision is 3 years ago, I go through my vision every 3 years. And when I started working with Christine more than 3 years ago, but I really created a vision 3 years ago. And at the time, I thought my vision was pretty audacious, which it really was just to have, I can't remember it too clearly now, but it was to have like my current center be full and to have a wait list and to be looking at expansion, right? At that time, and I actually think this one I created about 6 years ago. It was a little bit late, but I found all my journal entries about this vision that I had created. It was like 5 or 6 years ago. And it's crazy to me because as of today, I have hit every target on that vision. So what may seem like a huge audacious goal to you today, what may seem unachievable, you would be amazed in 5 years what you can actually achieve, how much of an impact you can actually make when you've got that clear vision that you can create that roadmap to. It is amazing. So, and for my members that are watching, we are going to start working on your roadmap. That's something that I actually created a workbook for you guys so we can get that roadmap going so that we can get you guys on the path to your vision. And we're going to get that roadmap all going to starting next week. Not this week, but next week we're going to start that. So some of the things that I put on your worksheet that I'm going to go over with you guys just so that you know is I'm asking you why you went into early childhood education, because that's usually what it's so clear to us. The longer we work this, the more bogged down we become, the more jaded our love and our passion becomes. So I want to take you back to the beginning. If you're at the beginning, then you probably still have that original passion inside of you, right? But as we go on, the passion gets buried between the tactical, our everyday tactical stuff that we've got to deal with tends to just bury our vision. It buries that what we first fell in love with, right? So I want you to go back and think about why did you open a center in the first place? Take yourself back before it became such a strain, okay? Before the monotony of everyday life got to you. So Maria's asking, how do I get a workbook? Maria, we can have someone send that to you. I will make sure you get one. The next thing on the workbook is, what do I see as my legacy? So I told you guys how I figure that out, right? I want to know at the end of my life that I made a difference, and I want to be proud of myself. So that's what I want you to think about. At the end of your life, what do you want people to say about you? What do you want to be proud about? What do you want to tell your grandchildren or your great-grandchildren you're proud of? What do I want for the children in my care? So what is the outcomes you want for the children? What is the end result? Oh, you're welcome, Maria. Thank you. What is the end result for the children in your care? That's what I really want you to focus on. What do you want to bring to them? Okay. How will I get my staff to buy into my center? That I really want you to create a plan. Once you figure out your vision and it's really clear, how are you going to get the word out to your staff? And how are you going to get them to buy into your vision? The best way is think of stories you can tell them, make it alive. Think of a way that you can make that vision become alive to you, you guys. That's why I bring parents in. That's why I find just different stories, or I'll look at a child who, like this year, one of our babies that she was with us as an infant, right? And when she started with us, she was actually homeless. She was homeless, and her new foster mom had taken care of her. Now she's going to be 5 years old. She's been adopted. Is doing amazing. This child was also at one point failure to thrive. She's one that I brought into the staff meeting to make sure that I show them, like, do you guys remember this little girl who was failure to thrive? Now look at her. She's going to be going to kindergarten and she's just doing amazing. So bringing it alive to them, that's a way to really help. If you're new, just think of painting a picture of create like an avatar, okay? And make up like a story of, this is what I envision. This child who maybe has, for example, a developmental delay, and I want to make sure by the time they hit kindergarten that they're on point and we've got them caught up and they're not having any speech delays or any other kind of delays, but paint it into a picture for them. Make it alive. Make it something they can see. Make it emotional. You want your vision to just really capture that emotion. Think of the outcome, the emotional outcome. That's what you want to capture. Okay, so the next thing I really want you to think about, and the first time I did my vision, this is how I did it. And this is really what got me started. I want you to pretend you have a magic wand. If you had a magic wand and you could create the perfect, ideal childcare center for you 3 years from now, what would it look like? So I want you to envision your ideal, perfect center and write it down, okay? And I want you to envision yourself walking through your classrooms. What would you see? What would you hear? What would you smell? Okay, make it real and alive to you. Write it down. Okay, that is part of what you're gonna turn into your overall big vision, okay? And I can tell you guys, that was one of the things that I did where now when I looked back on it, it's like it became alive. That when I walk through my center today, that vision I wrote for myself 5 or 6 years ago is actually alive today. It is actually really, really happening today when I walk through my classrooms. And it is an amazing feeling, you guys, when, 5 years later, and you guys, 5 years goes by so fast when you're working and things are happening. But it's amazing when, you find an old journal, you read this and you realize, oh my gosh, I have fulfilled every single piece of this. It is just an awesome feeling. And it is really what I credit to the fact that my center is so strong today. So I want you guys to really, it's just an exercise. And if you can, post it somewhere. A lot of things I want to remind myself, I tape it to the mirror in my bathroom so that when I'm getting dressed in the morning, I have to see it. Every time I go to get ready to leave my house, I look at it, I see it, I remember it. Tape it somewhere where you cannot forget it, where you constantly have to remind yourself. And that is what you're going to use also as one of your roadmaps, right? You're going to figure out, okay, now how am I going to put this in place? My perfect ideal center, how am I going to make it become alive? So you're going to take those things and then you're going to create your vision. And at the end, I put down at the very bottom of the second page, I will present my vision to my staff no later than. I want you to put a date on that, you guys. Pick a date. When are you going to present your vision to your staff? When are you going to get them to buy in? Okay. And I want you to plan that staff meeting. I know right now is a little crazy. So if you notice, the next thing I say is using this platform. So think about it. Do you need to do this through a Zoom meeting? Do you need to do a Facebook Live just like I'm doing for you guys? Maybe do a presentation. Tell them I'm so excited, you guys. I have this new vision for my center. I can tell you if you're an existing center and you've been flowing without vision, and during this time, if you're closed or even if you're running a skeleton crew and you've got this new fire inside of you and this new motivation, and you go to your staff, you go on whatever means that you're communicating with them, but I would try and do it where they can see and hear you. Okay. It really does make a difference if they can see and hear the emotion in you. So if you go to them and they can see that there's like this new person coming out of you, it's going to motivate them too. If you've been, especially if you've been kind of just down in the dumps right now because of everything that's happening, and you just go to them and tell them, hey, look, I've been working. I am going to improve our center so that when we're back to full steam and all of our families are back and everything, or if you're closed and you're open again, like we are going to come back better and stronger. And this is my vision for my center. You're going to get a pretty excited, motivated staff. So something I would really figure out how you could present it. I would do it either right before you guys open back up or right when you open. I wouldn't wait too much longer though, because everybody is scared right now. I would definitely start getting them on board now. And that way you guys will just really be motivated to just start working and going after something. So do any of you guys have any questions for me, or is that all pretty clear? I'll just give a second to see. And then if not, yes, Zach says your vision is everything. It is. It really is. It is the foundation, you guys. I mean, just like any house, you can't build your house on sand or it's just going to crumble. Your foundation is going to create that strong piece. Convey your vision to your team. It is so important. Make sure you give yourself a deadline to get it done by. You've got to make sure committing to yourself to get it done. Okay, well, if you guys don't have any questions, I'm just going to leave it at that. And tomorrow at 4 o'clock, we will be back and I will talk to you guys about how to create a culture for your center that will help you just build that quality that will make parents really want to stick with you and to make you the center that they want to choose first. So everybody have a great night. Bye.